It's 5 p.m. at Honeybee Bruncheonette on the edge of Vancouver's Chinatown, or as staff here call it, switchover time. During the day, it's a brunch spot. In the evening, it morphs into a taco joint or a pizza place, depending on the night.
As soon as the lights come down, it feels almost like a different space. So
Totally different vibe.
it's kind of exciting.
And you did that because you just had to, I guess.
Exactly.
Yeah, out of necessity.
Yeah.
Owner Matthew Senecal Junkier knew he had to maximize this space, so a little ingenuity led to several ventures under one roof, so it never sits empty. That may sound familiar, because he's done it before.
Here's the wine fridge, all the whites.
We first introduced you to him in the spring. He turned the back of this daytime cafe into a nighttime wine bar after the office lunch crowds didn't return post-COVID.
The dynamic and the drivers of the business have completely changed pre and post-pandemic.
That was 6 months ago, when restaurant bankruptcies had spiked 116% since 2022, and it hasn't gotten better.
Our margins, like a lot of other people in our sector, are just razor thin to non-existent. There's something really seismic happening in our sector, and it's just hasn't been able to get out of that hole since the pandemic.
Those side hustles, as he calls them, generate 70% of their core business sales.
It's what's keeping us afloat.
Restaurants Canada says food service spending remains 9% below pre-pandemic levels. Nationally, more than half of companies are still either losing money or barely breaking even. And a quarter are worried they will not survive unless conditions improve, which is why industry experts say this coming month will be pivotal.
But the holiday season is the absolute most lucrative time for our businesses. I think it's going to be a make or break season for a lot of hospitality businesses out there.
He says the holiday season can make up 20% of a business's overall revenue for the entire year, and that money gets them through the slow times. And so, a plea.
I would say if you have a favorite neighborhood pub, bar, restaurant in your community, we need your support now more than ever.
But with cost pressures hitting customers on all sides, many we spoke with say they might hold back on the wining and dining this year.
Times are tough. A lot of inflation. I think everybody knows right now that even just basic groceries is very expensive.
Yeah, inflation sucks.
Instead of going to like big restaurant, we just like pick up food at TNT or something. It's
inflation, the economy. Yeah, I'm making careful decisions.
Holiday spending aside, federal COVID loans remain the biggest worry for many businesses. The initial deadline had been the end of this year. After much lobbying by the industry, Ottawa did extend it, but only by a few weeks into January. Now the sector's urging the feds to make it a much longer runway and to give more flexibility in paying back that money.
And they've said we can go to a bank and refinance it, but more debt is not the solution here. And also interest rates are very high right now, so that's not going to help.
As for Senecal Junkier, he took out 2 loans totaling $120,000 and isn't sure what's going to happen come the new year.
I mean, we're kind of waiting to see what December's like. It's frankly, it's going to be a stretch for us. So, we're hoping to hear back on what bank financing will look like, but there's no real clear path forward.
He says while December is usually 30 to 40% busier than the other winter months, optimism is hard to come by.
We're hoping. I wouldn't say confident, but we're definitely hoping.
Tanya Fletcher, CBC News, Vancouver.